So one of the really interesting topics, I think, in reporting and analytics and business intelligence is this desire for organizations to want to take action from their data. And I think there's been this huge hurdle traditionally for organizations to be able to do that with the reporting tools that they have today. And so let's sort of decompose that a little bit and think about, well, what do people actually do? And fundamentally, there's two use cases. The first use case is around decision making and some strategic analysis, and that is, taking the time to slice and dice your data, understand your business, and therefore make recommendations about what to do next. So that's one use case. The second use case is the far more pervasive one, which is around operational analytics. That is feeding data to your entire organization, so process-oriented workers who need to react to that data and to do something specific to do their jobs well. And in both cases, analytics supported in different ways. So for the first one, when I'm trying to understand my business and I see something in the data and I gain some insights, what really needs to happen is I want to make some recommendations, and I want to take those recommendations to the right audience in my organization. And the way I do that today is I'd cut and paste and stick it into Word, I put it into a presentation, into PowerPoint. But what really happens is that I now have broken the data lineage, and people will lose trust in the data because they go, how did that data get there? What filters did you use? How did you get there? And they'll spend more time asking you about the data than the recommendations. And so by having within your BI tool live data, live reports that fundamentally support your recommendations and your insights, makes that process far more trustworthy, far more governed, far more secure. On the operational side, on the other hand, we're now delivering data specifically to people in the organization. And what happens is there's a disjointed workflow. So you pump data, whether it be a report, whether it be a dashboard, and that gets delivered to an operational worker, but it's not actually connected to the transactional systems that they use. And the result of that, this disjointed workflow, is that the organization actually has no control about whether or not people act on that data. How do I know that you actually called those 20 people? How do I know that that happened? What did I send you last week? Have you reacted to it? Have you updated the CRM? Have you updated, the risk management product, etc.? And that inability to react, and especially if you're building whole data science models that have done all this prediction work, that's a real problem because you've got no control and you don't know the value that you're losing, the opportunity lost, nor the risks that you're losing because of this process. And so in that example, you want to be able to build action directly into the data that you're sending them. So you want the ability for a process worker to be able to click a button and to know directly what to do because of what you've sent them. And so in both cases, the ideal is that you close the loop. Is that the end-to-end process that you envisage of how you use data to make recommendations or how you use data to take action and to create more sales, etc., is a single integrated workflow for both parties. And that's what action in using analytics means for me personally.